Oh, hello, darlings. I'm just off work. Ooh. No games, but you know I had to come to y'all today. For those of you that are watching this and have a moment to chill, grab your glass of wine and let's get into these cards. I got my Nan. You don't know Nan? Been the places I've been, to spend the grands that I spend, bump about 5 or 6 best friends. Just kidding, it's non. Let me calm down. I still got a little energy left. What's going on, y'all? Sorry I had to have a little snack, but before I took all these clothes off, I wanted to do a read for you. For us. Because you know I'm going to get something out of it too. It's so interesting today. I was talking to this guy. You know, he comes down to visit me or whatever every now and then, a little chit chat, say hi. And we left off in our conversation with me being very clear that I do have the expectation that if I'm in a relationship with a man, I expect him to take care of me. What do y'all think about that? Sometimes I hate that when we say we expect a man to take care of us, we have to give the extra disclaimer about what we gonna do, I'm not doing that no more. You know what that means, and I know what I have to offer. That was just a little side note while I shuffle these cards. All right, so let's do what needs to be seen. This is what we're doing today. This is what I normally do unless I feel the need to do something about divine timing. But we're just going to go ahead and keep it simple today. Have a little something to get our minds right. You know, the new moon is around the corner, if not today or tomorrow. So we're just going to do what the past energies that brought us to this moment, what this moment is talking about, and what this moment is preparing for us for the future. Y'all ready to get into it? Got our 3 cards. Tres. I'm studying my Spanish. I promise I'm not going to eat and drink in your face this whole time. But I'm just off work, like, y'all know. Corporate ain't playing no games. They want your whole life. 9 hours a day. All right. Okay. Ooh. I'm loving this. All right. So, isn't it amazing how I just mentioned the new moon? And as I'm talking about the moon, card number 1, the priestess card. Woo! You see that big old moon? Card number 2, the moon card. Because you knew it was going to come up. This is why I like this deck. 23, this card, the above card. So we're still looking up. Looks like we're looking up, and the moon and where we're at has everything to do with what needs to be seen right now. This is why I love these cards. I personally don't feel like I need to have some special, ridiculous training in order to be able to share a word with you guys. And you see how intuitively these were picked. I'm talking about the moon. The new moon is coming up, and every card here is either got a moon on it, literally named moon, or talking about the above. And here I see the cosmos. So this is how this works. This is why you can trust your word, my word, eat the meat, spit out the bones. I'm reading from this oracle deck by Lindsay Para and Sarah Love McCoy, 2 lovely ladies who I just love the way they write. It's so beautiful and easy to understand. And so we're going to get into some good word for the day. So what needs to be seen? Left card, the energies present that brought us to this moment. It's the priestess card. Let's dive on in. Priestess. So the signposts, I always show you how it looks just in case you're confused. We'll do signposts and the guidance, okay? So signposts are just things that come to mind that are signposts about the cards. So the signpost for the priestess, which is where we are in this new moon right now. Intuition, access to other realms, initiation, ceremony, craft, secret societies, spell casting, and south. The guidance, accessing your innate gifts for creation and magic. Whew. The priestess is not lost. She is neither forgotten nor silenced. She has been lying in wait, seeking expression in the pockets of mysticism, art, and the human journey. awaiting her time to be reborn in the collective. That time is now. You may recognize her as your gaze turns towards the waxing moon. You may find her in your voice as you speak truth, wisdom, and power to your circles and beyond. The priestess is tending to her sacred spaces, gathering her circles, covens, and communities. She is reigniting the craft in all forms. Yo, that is, I don't know about you, but that's exactly what I feel like in this moment. Especially, okay, we talked about the last decade, moving into the new thing. When I read our read at the top of the year, it was very much about tapping into the collective and us being on one accord individually, but together. And now here we are, and those energies brought us here to where it's time to express ourselves. We've crossed over that spot. It's no longer, oh, new year, new things. We've changed. We've gone through a lot of transformation, and now it's time to express ourselves. It's time to show and prove, if you will. And I like the way it says that time is now. And finding her in your voice as you speak truth, wisdom, and power to your circles and beyond. I don't know if you guys are being felt led, but it's time for us to tap into what we have to give. How can we bless and serve others? What innate gifts, talents, and wisdoms do we have that we're just feeling like it's time to share? Whether you want to have an event, write a book, put something together you've never done before, it's time to express that. That time is now. The priestess is tending to her sacred spaces, gathering her circles, covens, and communities. Sorry, spitting y'all because I'm eating. But I think it's definitely time for that. And it says she's reigniting the craft in all forms. Reigniting, it's time. If you would have watched 2 reads ago, I think it was saying, oh, the last read I did, things that needed to be seen, was the fire card. What could we ignite within us? What is laying dormant and needs to be set on fire and be seen? Now we're saying she's reigniting her craft in all forms. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Let me move on to the second card, which is what this card, the priestess that I just read, what is the energies from this card is bringing us to now, which is in the present space, which is the moon. So why don't we go ahead and celebrate that, because it's new moon time. So let's see what these present energies are talking about. Okay, number 18. Signpost. This is a very feminine pull, and I love that because not all cards are like that. So this is some feminine energy that is being called forth right now. So I want you guys to make that note. The signpost. Simple. The moon in all her phases. The guidance on this card. Honor your phases and stages, cycles, and rhythms. Honor them. Let's get into it. The moon is said to be our grandmother, our guide, our teacher. She governs the tides, the cycles of women, and water in all forms on this earth. The moon is one of the great miracles and sources of everyday magic in your life. To be disconnected from the moon and her cycles is to be fundamentally disconnected from the rhythms of life itself. Man or woman, the moon is a reminder of your phases and stages. She reminds you to allow yourself to ebb and flow, to grow and change. The moon reflects the light of the sun, modeling what it is to live a full and expansive existence with a light and a shadow side, all while illuminating the world by reflection alone. The moon is the ultimate divine mirror. This is an invitation to get back into the flow with your own rhythms. What wants to change? What wants to stay the same? If you are unsure, get outside and connect to the moon's rhythms. Your questions won't remain questions very long. And I love this card being pulled right now in the present space because we are in the point of a new moon. And when you think of a new moon, it's dark. You can't see the moon. We're talking about the shadow side right now. But with it being a new moon, I feel like it's a time to retract a little bit, go dark, if you will, and start to ask some of these questions that this asks. Not only are we getting in flow with our own rhythm, but what wants to change? This is a great time to think about that. New moon, on the other side of this moon is a new you. We have an opportunity, of course, every day, and really in every moment, we're new and being made new. Our cells are always renewing each other. We always have new days. When it says honor, the great miracles and sources of everyday magic in your life, and the moon being that, we don't think about it all the time, but the sun rises every day without failure, and so does the moon. So it's about, finding the rhythms of that, and it's the same with you. We always have the chance to change, but now while it's dark and we're retreating a little bit within the new moon, the darkness of the new moon, it's time to ask ourselves, what wants to change? What wants to stay the same? And if you're unsure, ask the question now. Get outside and connect to the moon's rhythm. It's dark right now. Turn in, ladies, men, those who are watching. You can turn in and you'll get the answers to the questions, because on the other side of this, it's go time. It's time to show, prove, connect, bring together wisdom, all of those things. So let that be a teacher. I love the moon. I love its phases. I have those phases. I'm excited and sometimes I'm tired. I'm joyful, sometimes I'm sad. I'm out there, sometimes I gotta pull back. Right now is pull back time, so you know what you're bringing forward when it's time for that. I love the new moon because it's about the darkness, but the full moon shines light on everything you need to see. That's a different energy. So right now, this is at the right time. That's what I love about pulling these cards. It's what we need to know right now. I hope y'all are feeling it like me, because I'm just like, I'm gonna meditate on this when we're done, and I hope you do the same. Last but not least, the energies now, where it's taken us, above. This energy now with the moon and asking the questions, what wants to change, what wants to stay the same, honoring the miracles, magics, and your own rhythm when it comes to the moon, is leading us to what is to come, which is above. I've read this card before and I love it. Are y'all ready? Because the above card is so dope. It shows me the journey of where we started. The priestess card came first. This is what brought us to the moon card. But this is very important. And when I read this above card, you're going to know why. The signposts, for those who might be catching mid or confused. Heaven, ethers, angels, starlight, constellation, archetypes, the guidance. Turn your attention to the heavens. The realm above us takes us beyond our earthly landscape, beyond our atmosphere, beyond the cosmos and the constellations, far beyond our grandmother moon, and brother sun, beyond even our own human capacity to comprehend, and out into the distant etheric realms. Above, you can access the realm of all potential and all possibility. This is the realm of oneness, unity, truth, and potential. This is timelessness, eternal realm where miracles are born. Not only is there a tremendous comfort and uplift when you connect to the realms above, there is also potential for powerful transformation, change, and manifestation. So keep those roots down, but put those wings up. Soar, dream, believe. I mean, if that don't tell you it's go time, I don't know what does. And if you notice, when I look at all these cards and I read each one, collectively, I like to kind of assess where we're at. And I love how none of these cards sound forceful. They sound powerful. This is not asking you, get it done, do it, da-da-da, you got to show and prove. This is saying like, you have it, girl. And it's time to love on yourself and others with the innate wisdom that you have. This is coming. Here we go, right? Then it's like, before we go, think about your rhythms. Think about what needs to change, what needs to stay the same. Acknowledge the miracles of the moon and, of nature. The sun rises every day. The moon comes every day. Like, This is magical. There's miracles. There's a rhythm to things. How does that speak to your rhythm? So before we get crazy, let's honor that within ourselves, which is a very peaceful, quiet, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I'm tired. I can't think of the word. Y'all might got it, and I can't think of it right now, but it's an internal thing. I had a magical piece of vocabulary I was going to share, and it slipped my mind. But this is some inner work, just a little moment to take, because after we do that, baby, potential is limitless. We got this. The priestess shows we have everything we need. Honor it. The moon card says right now, let's ask ourselves the question. Let's get in our rhythm. I want you to feel it, because now it's time to soar. Limitless possibilities. Things are not the same. This is not the last decade where we felt pushback, where we were unsure about who we are and what we had to offer, where we had this resistance and things that went in and out. That's all gone. This is opened up. It's a different universal year now. Now we can soar. And everything that we've gone through and are going through is giving us the space and potential to do so. So look to the heavens. Roots down. You know who you are. You know. You don't even have to ask nobody anymore. We're not doing that. This is 2020. Roots down, wings up. Soar, dream, believe. That's good. So I hope you got something out of this. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you made it to the end of this, please subscribe. I'm going to be bringing you so much. I have 3 interview series that I'm about to present to you guys, which I'm really excited about. One, we're about to hear from the men. I'm interviewing like some of my favorite guy friends, and they are about to watch. Just don't believe me, just watch. We're keeping up with Chop It Up. Those of you who don't know, I have a monthly brunch party that I've been doing since December 2014 every month at different locations around LA called Chop It Up Sundays. And it's a great place for people to meet in person, connect and network. And even if you're shy and that's not really your thing, come to my brunch, you good. Everybody's cool. You will leave with friends and people, meeting people who do dope things. So every time I have a host, I also interview them. So they have an opportunity to share with you what they have going on, and we have an opportunity to meet someone new. So I'm keeping that going by creating a very intentional interview series so you can meet new people and connect with those who are entrepreneurs and get some of their wisdom and gain and do insight from that. Lastly, get stoned with us. I don't talk about this enough, but I got a crystal jewelry company. I am smothered in crystals. If y'all could just see everything laying around me. Actually, so we've got some fluorite, rose quartz, and jet. So this is just, I got stuff all over the place, but all that to say, I am going to do an interview series about it because I want to talk about inspiration, spirituality, and I started Get Stoned With Us as an invitation to your higher self. Everything that we do starts with the mind. If your mind ain't right, we don't need to talk about events, relationships, entrepreneurship, this, that, or the other. It just doesn't exist. So Get Stoned With Us is about the elevation of the mind. And I'm going to be interviewing people about the things that they do to keep that going. So I could show you better than I could tell you. But now it's time for me to take off these clothes, everything else, and wind it down. It's Friday. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love you. Subscribe, share this message. I will talk to you later. Deuces.